I have thousands of students. Kim is my quickest student ever to the six-figure club. Another episode of On the Road with the Loan Signing System. Here with signing agent Kim. Kim, can you tell everybody how much money you've made this year?
$117,218.
I was going to say, how does that make you feel? But I think I can see how that makes you feel. I am so proud of you, Kim. And let me tell everybody right now, I have thousands of students. Kim is my quickest student ever to the six-figure club. Out of every student that we have, Kim, be proud, because I am immensely proud of your journey. And Kim has done this in her first year of being a signing agent. Congratulations, Kim, to you. I can see it, what this feels for you. Talk through some of what you're feeling right now so other people can feel it with you.
Oh, I'm just so amazed. Sometimes it's overwhelming. I have to pinch myself. I can't even believe it. Yeah. It's really amazing.
You deserve every piece of this success. You are an amazing signing agent. I can't wait to tell people about your story. It is incredible. I mean, Kim is 55 years young. Yes, and I say that to inspire people that you can reinvent yourself at 55. You know, you don't have to think like, I'm 30 years old or I'm 25 years old. You're 55 in your first year ever of being a signing agent. You made six figures. So I hope another 55-year-old somewhere is inspired by your journey. So, Kim, I think you've seen enough of these interviews to know that my first question is always, why did you become a signing agent? Talk through that with people. Like, what was your journey about? What made you get here to this point at 55?
Okay. My husband and I, we built a business. We, from the ground up, from the idea to a multi-million-dollar business. It was nothing in the mortgage industry. It actually was an RF microwave cable assembly business. So it was high-tech manufacturing. And I was the administrative officer of operations and HR, and my husband was actually the technical side. We worked together side by side for 20 years and grew the business. But I always felt as if I was under his wings or following in his shadow, and that sort of thing. So we ended up selling the business after 20 years, and for a nice cash out, we were able to retire at 45 and 46. So I'm very grateful, for that. And so for the first 8 years, we relocated, we did some traveling, and so everything was a bliss. And I know some people might wonder, why did you want to go back to work after being retired? That's everybody's dream. But it's more glorified really than what it is. After 8 years, everybody my age is still working, right? So I actually was kind of bored. I wanted to do something with my life. I also am a co-founder of a nonprofit. So anyways, I got into this business, and then I wanted to do something that Kim could do. I built on my own. That it wasn't with my husband. Sure, my husband backs me up, and is supportive and things like that, but the commission belongs to Kim. And so I got to build this business with my commission and my hard work.
It's beautiful. I'm so proud of you. I'm just letting you have your moment. It is with your hard work. You are the fastest student I've ever had to six figures.
It's amazing.
I've never said this business was easy.
No.
It is simple, but it's not easy. And your hard work has made you my quickest student to six figures. Be proud. Be proud.
Thank you. I am.
I think you're speaking to a lot of people in general that feel like they not only need to prove something to their spouses, but something to themselves, right? And I don't think you were trying to prove something to your husband, but it was almost proving something to yourself. Like, I'm capable of greatness too. You know, we built
Mhm.
something together, but like, I want to feel like I've built something. And
Right. And I came from a very broken home. My parents were alcoholics and addicts. I was actually an orphan with my mom when she had me at 16. And so I was always told that I wouldn't amount to anything and that I could never do anything. I never had a day of college in my life. So this is absolutely amazing.
I am speechless. Thank you for being so vulnerable right now. I mean, coming from a broken home and being, your mother was 16 when she had you, and hearing those things that just aren't true.
Mhm.
Right? And thank you for saying that, because I'm sure you're not the only person, man or woman, who's been told that they're not going to amount to anything. And you made six figures in the first 10 months. I don't even think I've said that yet. We're at the beginning of December, and Kim had made six figures by October of this year. She's now at 117. Like, that is incredible. If you could just say some words to somebody else right now, Kim, who
Okay.
has been told that they can't amount to anything, who's been told that, who doesn't have a college degree and feels like, wow, I don't have a college degree, there's no way I can make six figures. What would you say to a person who's been told they can't amount to anything?
But those are lies, and don't listen to those lies. You need to believe in yourself and know that you can do it, and just set your heart to it and believe in yourself and put in the hard work. Nothing's going to come easy. You have to put in the footwork, you have to put in the hard work and the legwork. But if you be persistent and you keep on and just try to do everything with excellency and superior and top notch, I mean, it's gonna pay out for you. But you have to just keep on. And for me, for a lot of years, I listened to the lies. And I can't listen to the lies anymore. Especially, I think, being a woman, and being married. Like, I love my husband; he's a great man, and we've been married almost 31 years. But it's always, I wanted to just do something, on my own. I didn't want to have a monthly budget, because you know what, quite honestly, like, out of the two of us, he's great at saving money and I'm really bad at it. I like to spend money. And so I can never stick to the budget that he gave me. And so I like having this little bit of freedom where I can make money. And you know what? Now he doesn't bother me about how much I want to spend on my.
You're making six figures. I mean, let me blow your mind here. According to what you read and what statistics you read, what percentage of Americans do you think make six figures in a year? Like, give me a percentage you think. Of
3%.
How much?
3%.
It's
3%.
It's 8%.
Oh, okay.
You are in the top 8% of all of America.
Wow, that's unbelievable to hear that.
Think about that for a second, right? Like, in all of America, it's anywhere between 8 to 10, depending on what poll or study you read. But look, even if you're in the top 10%, that's incredible. And look, you came from where you came from, no college degree. And I want to inspire another subset of women here, or men. You're 55,
Yeah.
right? And I don't say that that's old in any stretch of the imagination, but there is a belief that, like, I can't reinvent myself in my 50s. Like, that ship has sailed. What would you say to someone in their 50s saying, watching your story, saying there's no way that I could be 50 something and reinvent myself to your six-figure level?
If I can do it, anybody can do it. And I read those stories and I hear that from people too. And they're already cutting their feet off by saying those things. And you know what? There's just power in the tongue. Like, the words that we speak are so powerful, and like, we cannot speak that to ourselves, because the mind is going to believe it. You have to speak positive things. You have to keep telling yourself, I am going to do this. I can do it. And then just follow what we've been taught, and it will work. Telling you, that's all I did. And I think in this, and it's so sad, because with the pandemic right now of COVID, you just hear so much despair of everybody losing their jobs. And after so many years, some of them have been on their job for a long time, and they don't think that they can do anything else. And this business is proof that that is wrong. Don't listen to that lie. Step out, do it. Let's go.
Let's go. I love it. You said something that was, like, utterly beautiful, and that is the power of the tongue.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard it phrased like that before. I've always heard like thoughts are things, but like the power of the tongue, you're right. What we say is so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, your story resonates on so many levels to a woman, to someone who's 55, to someone who's been told that they're never going to amount to anything, to someone who feels like they're in the shadow of what their husbands have created. I mean, your
Mm-hmm.
story is powerful. And so thank you so
Mm-hmm.
much for getting vulnerable with us. Thank you for sharing some of those tears of happiness with us. And, you know, I hope someone else sees themselves in you. You know, what I also want to inspire, I'm going to do another level of inspiration, is
Okay.
you come from a rural town, right?
Yes. Yes.
You know, I talk about kind of where you live. We'll talk about your money income journey in a minute, but you know, there's a belief, you know, from a lot of people is that the only way to make six figures, if you live in the middle of Los Angeles or in the middle of Seattle or the middle of Dallas or the middle of Miami or the middle of Denver, right?
Right.
You're in a small town. How many title companies are in your town?
There's really only two, actually, and not even in my town. I live in Twain Harte, but Sonora is the closest town, and so there's two title companies. That's still 15 to 18 minutes from me. And then the next one is 45 minutes away. After that, the closest one is an hour and a half to 2 hours away from me.
So a
And,
major metropolitan city is an hour and a half to 2 hours from you.
yes.
I mean, and that's what I'm trying to inspire people with. You're talking about my quickest student ever in a six-figure club is in the middle of a rural part of the country with
Yes.
two title companies within 20 minutes. That is it.
Yep.
So I'm hoping students are hearing that you don't need to be in the middle of Los Angeles, the middle of San Francisco, the middle of Portland, the middle of San Antonio, the middle of Las Vegas. You can be in a small town and do six figures and be the quickest person I've ever had to the six-figure club. When I say that, I mean, I'm going to keep saying it because I want you to be so proud of what you created. I am so proud of you. I'm so happy. And I'm just honored that you've chosen me to be a part of your journey, man. I mean, I tell all you students, I just pull the greatness out of you. You've always had this in you, Kim. You've always had this in you. You just needed that vehicle to pull it out of you.
Yeah, totally.
And this is that vehicle, and I can't take credit for any of your greatness. So congratulations again on this amazing, amazing success. So speaking of that success, let's walk people through your success.
Okay.
So we are in December, of 2020. You became a loan signing system of January 1st of 2020. You got your commission in November of 2019.
Yes.
So there was a couple months of you. So what's even crazier about your story is you made six figures within 12 months of just getting your commission, period.
Yes.
Like, I'm blown away by that, right? So, I mean, you've become an LSS student for 11 months now, but I mean, you had your commission before you took my course. And so that's incredible. So let's take people through your income journey. I know everyone gets inspired by hearing what it looked like. We're going to talk about your direct business and all that other good stuff and some of your marketing, but let's take people back to the beginning of the journey.
Okay.
So you got your commission a year ago, November. And what were you doing between November and January?
I kind of was floundering. One thing I want to say, I think this is so exciting, is the day that I got my commission, 3 hours later, I had my first notification that I could actually take, and it was from your signing company.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. It really comes full circle, right? I mean, there's no such thing as accidents, right? I didn't
even have your system at the time. So that is like what was so crazy for me is later when I bought your system and I found out that your company was my very first one, it was so absolutely crazy. So I really was floundering at that time, but I just kept taking, I think I only had a few signings, maybe 20, because I had 19 in December and then I had the one in November. So I only had 20 signings until January of this year. So I just felt like I made some errors, I had to go and redo a couple things and, I think my pay docked a couple times.
So you were floundering and then you found my course. And then
Yes.
so the first month you had my course, how much money did you make in your first month in January?
4.2.
4.2. I love that you went from like foundering, took my course, made $4,000. It's insane, right? I love it.
Yeah.
And again, this is in a rural community,
Yes.
in your actual town, not the nearest town next to you. In your town, how many people live in your town?
Well, I actually live in a subsidiary that only has 50 people. So the next would be maybe 3,000 people in my town.
3,000 people in her town. And she did $4,000 in her first month. I hope everyone is hearing this.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to be in the middle of LA,
right,
or San Antonio. Give me another big city that I'm saying, Sacramento,
right.
Fort Lauderdale, Tampa, Charlotte, all these big cities where we have students just crushing it. You're in a town of 3,000 people.
Yes.
You did $4,000 your first month.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So if anybody ever tells me again, oh, Mark, you can't make money in a rural,
you have them call me.
I'm going to call my girl Kim and let them know. Okay, so first month you did $4,000. What'd you do your second month?
5.6.
$5,600. Again, from a town of 3,000 people. 2 title companies within 20 miles. I'm going to keep saying that to inspire people. That's all about hard work. And then month number 3, what'd you make?
$8,000.
$8,000. So what was the difference? So what made you go from the 5 to the 8?
I believe I actually got picked up by a second title company, but so I just got actually picked up by a second title company. And so that started boosting the profits, because I actually was getting more per signing, keeping more instead of, giving it to signing companies.
And working less, frankly.
Yes.
Okay, yes, let's talk about that then a little bit, right? And I knew the answer, so I was kind of waiting for you to say, so you started going direct month number 3. But before we go into that, the first 2 months, you're only essentially working for signing services.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're making $4,000 or $5,000 working for signing services, following the system in a rural town. I keep saying that till my face turns blue. I want people to realize, for some of you students who are watching this right now, in Los Angeles, like, there's no excuses after you hear your story. It's like, look, I'm in town 3,000, I can do it. Okay, so going to the direct avenue, right? I think there's a lot of people, Kim, who think people who get direct business come from sales backgrounds, come from mortgage industry backgrounds. I want to kind of talk about your background a little bit to help people understand that hard work, working through your nerves, taking the word no not so seriously, is what a 6-figure signing agent does. A 6-figure signing agent isn't someone who comes from a former real estate agent or former loan officer. So, just to inspire people here, you were never in the mortgage industry before you got my course.
No, like I said, my husband and I, we had a cable manufacturing business. And so you basically bought parts and we had our employees assemble them. It was nothing, the farthest from the mortgage industry ever.
Cool. And that's what I wanted people to hear, is that, you weren't a former salesperson at your previous job.
No.
Yeah. Let's talk about the first moment you went direct in month number 3. Talk about kind of what you did. You're in a small rural town. The pandemic just kind of hit at this point in your journey. What I want to point out is you were making money before the pandemic hit, and so whether it's before the pandemic or crushing it through the pandemic, you're making money on both sides. Okay. So with that being said, take me back to the moment of when you're like, I'm going to go direct. I'm going to get that title company. Talk about what you did. Talk about your nerves. Talk about that so we can inspire somebody else.
Well, I think being an entrepreneur, I didn't like going through a broker and losing money. Like, I wanted the whole pie, right? And so I think I worked up the nerve one day to, call the title company. And this one was 45 minutes away from me. And I was so nervous. I mean, I would wake up at 8 o'clock or, early in the morning and be ready by 8 o'clock, just waiting for my phone to bling with the notification. And, but nothing was really happening. So I'm like, I just called the title company. I was so nervous. I was glad that I was on the phone and they couldn't see my hands shaking, but I was certain that they probably could hear it in my voice. I don't know, but it just so happened that day that the regional director was there that day. And so she said, well, hey, everybody's here. Maybe we could set an appointment for you to come in later. And I just said, you know what? I'm available now, because I was, right? They're ready. And so she's like, okay. I'm like, I can be there in 45 minutes. And she's like, okay. Like, I pretty much told her I was coming in 45 minutes.
I love it. I love it. And I think I want to inspire people with this, right? I mean, first and foremost, you're a six-figure signing agent, literally scared to death. You were phone was shaking in your description.
Yes.
I want people to realize, like, six-figure signing agents get nervous. Successful people have nerves, and I'll keep saying this until my face turns blue. It's not that successful people don't get nerves. It's that we don't let those nerves to hold us back.
That's right.
Push through.
The 45 minutes driving there, I am like hanging onto my steering wheel and I'm screaming like, I can't. I was just, and I felt like I just had to keep stopping. You know, mind you, it's rural. I have to go through mountains, across a river and everything to get to the other side, to the title company. I felt like I had to stop and pee like 5 times.
Oh, that's hilarious. I love it. I mean, well, again, something else I want to hit on is, you approached a title company that was 45 minutes from your house. That's the mindset of a successful signing agent. It's too many signing agents only want to focus on the title companies 5-10 minutes from their house. Because some people live in, bigger cities than you do. But you didn't let the fact that it's 45 minutes away deter you from going to market to them. And that's what I want to hit. So if you're a loan signing system student, don't be afraid to branch out 10, 20, 30, 45 minutes from your house, because how much business does that title office now give you a month?
I haven't broken it out by that title company, but initially, like, it kind of goes in ebbs and flows. Sometimes one title company is more at, this week, and then, it flip-flops,
right.
So it just all depends.
The point I was trying to make is, like, if you never made that move, you would lose a significant amount of income.
Oh, well, I would be back at the 4,200 mark versus my biggest month ever was 17,500.
Right. I love it. And so that's what I'm trying to inspire people with is, if you didn't market to a title company that's 45 minutes away, you would have lost thousands of dollars.
Oh, totally. Yes.
And that's the point I'm trying to help people through is,
yeah,
don't sit on those title offices that are 30 or 45 minutes away, because they could be some of your biggest income producers. That's what I'm trying to inspire people with. Because if you're like, oh, I'm not going to go to a title company 45 minutes away, you wouldn't be where you're at.
Nope, I would not be.
And that's what I'm trying to get into people's minds of a six-figure signing agent mindset is, I will go anywhere, do anything, market to anyone. So
you talk about mindset. So in that, my mind was thinking like, okay, these title companies are that far away, but they have to service the area where I live, these rural areas. And it was what I was thinking. And so I was like, the orders are coming out of point B over there, but everybody is point A and everything else like being serviced by that title company. And I want a piece of that business, to be able, and so that was my mindset going in, and I just tried to just capitalize on it.
I love it. You're dropping fire. But I hope people really heard, especially our rural town signing students, is you understood that if there's a major city here, there's someone servicing my rural area.
Right.
So I want to make sure I'm the notary in this rural area. I hope people really heard that. And frankly, it works with big cities too, right? If you're in one suburb, there's a title company servicing this other suburb. The concept's the same, but I love that you walk through that with everybody. Because again, these interviews are about digging into the mind of a six-figure signing agent, which, by the way, the girl who didn't amount to anything, who wasn't going to, is now my fastest student ever.
That's
to
amazing.
The six-figure club. So all those naysayers, man, I hope they're watching this, because you became more than something.
Yeah. And we have to remember, we all have printers, right? So even though like I'm getting direct business from these title companies that are now, 45 minutes from me, but guess what? I have my awesome printer, and they can send me the files through, a secured source, and I can print them. Spend a little bit of money on toner and paper, but I'm way far making it up because I now have direct business. So you could look at it one way. You can give that portion of money to a signing company, or you can spend even a smaller fraction of that money and put it into supplies. That's a tax write-off, and print your own files.
That's exactly. I mean, I hope everyone's hearing this. I mean, we're talking to a six-figure signing agent. So, you were nervous, you were push through those nerves.
Mm-hmm.
And 40, I can imagine what you're like. You said you wanted to pee 5 times on the way to your first exam. I mean,
Yes.
I love it. Again, all you students, I can't take any credit for your tenacity, for your courage, for your bravery. I can tell you what to say when you're there,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't push through that with you. And you did that on your own. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
so proud of you. My guess is your husband's pretty proud, huh?
Yes, he is.
It must be an amazing feeling to know you built this on your own, and your husband
Mm-hmm.
is your biggest fan and built this on your own. Kim, congratulations again.
Mm-hmm.
This is just an
And
amazing.
he told me the day when I told him I wanted to do this, he said, you know what, honey, you're going to be great at it.
The biggest fan. I love it. I love it. And you
And
are.
it was good to hear him say that too, to have the support. And, even though he knew that it was going to be totally on my commission, but just to hear him say that, I think it was the first time I ever heard him say it.
It's an amazing story. I'm just so honored to be telling it. Your journey is phenomenal. And I just, congratulations to you and your husband. I mean, as a second career, making 6 figures in your first year, like, Kim, stop it. Let's go. Okay, so let's talk about your second quarter, right? So you made $8,000. What did you make after that?
I did have a month where I dropped to 7.3 in May. And then in June was my first month of hitting over the 10,000 marks. I did 10,900. And then July kept going up from there, 12.7. Talk about August was my biggest month, $17,500. I did 133 signings that month. I don't remember much of August at all, let me tell you. Then I've been consistently around 13.7, 13.9, somewhere there. My first 4 days in December, I've already done 4.3.
Say that one more time.
In my first 4 days of December, I've done 4.3, $4,300 in 4 days.
I hope everybody heard that. That is incredible. Like, I'm so happy for you to know where you've come. You're going to do 125 this year, easy.
Oh yeah, totally.
I mean, 125,000, I think, is going to be in your sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I want people to hear that journey because it's just so incredible that where you've done in such a short amount of time. In your first year of having your notary commission, then the first 10 months of 2020, you've done $100,000. If you can do it, anyone can do this business. How much is your average direct fee?
Usually $130 to $150. Again, we're in a rural area. Our pay scale is not the same as Bay Area or metropolitan area. So, I see these checks that people are posting, and I was like, wow, I'm not getting that, and I'm going direct, but I'm grateful for what is, and that, I'm happy with, what I am making and, things like that too. So I don't want to be ungrateful.
Well, no, I said that because some people think to make 6 figures, you got to be making $200 a file, $250 a file.
No.
$130 to $150 a file. So again, if you're out there and you think, oh, I don't make the $200 like some of these people are, doesn't matter. I think what's inspiring is in so many levels. Again, I think people believe that you have to be making 175, 200, 250 every single signing to do 6 figures. So let's skip. This has been such an inspiring story so far. From the fact that, you're a 6-figure signing agent on average signing fee of $130 to $150, not $175 to $250. It is $130 to $150. And if you can do it, anybody can do it. Do you think that?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm still taking some that are $115. Again, I'm in a rural area, so I still will take some signing orders, from signing companies to fill in, and, they're $115, $100, so it's so doable, we can't use any excuses.
Well, I think you said something beautiful too right now is, you're making 6 figures a year, but you're not too good for $100, $115. I think there's a myth that, every 6-figure signing agent just has the pick of the crop. No, 6-figure signing agents bust their tail. They work hard to get where they're at. It's not always peaches and cream. You see the 6 figures, But what people aren't seeing is that sometimes you'll do $100 signing because you'd rather make $100 and do nothing. We
Right.
have some students who will rather do nothing than make $100, and then they wonder why they're not six-figure signing agents.
Right.
Right?
Yeah,
If you're
totally.
filling your time with every work, it's revenue. Revenue equals income. And
Yeah.
there's not an accident why you're at this point. I'm just love that we told your story. So, I think a lot of people want to know, let's ask this question. I'm going to say this off the cuff here, because there's a lot of people out there who don't believe that you can make six figures as a signing agent. They think, oh, you're lying. Oh, you're not telling the truth. What would you say to that person?
That is absolutely not true, because I was one of the people that said that. And part of it was I'm a competitive person too by nature. I'm a type A personality. And so, when I took your course and I was like, okay, I'm going to put this to the test and I'm going to see, does this really work? Is it really true? And so I just did everything that you taught us to do, Mark, and it works if you work it.
Right.
Work it because you're worth it.
Oh, work it because you're worth it. God, it's going to be a shirt. I love it so much. Work it because you are worth it. That is true. Like I said, there's just a myth that people think like, oh, it's impossible to make six figures in this business. I'm like, no, what it is. And I love your story because you're making six figures off of, 130 and 150 signings. Let's take us through, actually, I'm going to shelve that to this next question, to this next point. So
Okay.
Thank you for taking us through your journey here. Income journey. But now, at this point in the interview, I ask you successful signing agents, and I should say in your case, a six-figure signing agent. What is one piece of advice you would give a signing agent to help grow their business?
Organization and good time management is key, absolutely key. If you're going to make a six-figure income, you need to be doing more than 2 signings a day.
Yeah.
Especially for my case, being in rural area, if some of them are $100, and things like that. So a lot of days I'm doing 8 and 9 signings a day. I can only do that many a day. Having good time management, having good organization, which includes doing some prep work. I'm a big fan, if I can, of prep work. That even means arriving at the title company 15 minutes ahead of time to get my docs, to go in the conference room and just start getting them in the order that I like, and doing my notary, pre-work, and which is a huge key. So I can schedule them on the hour. If I only have like maybe 10-minute, 15-minute drive time, then I can do that. I will take my notary gadget at a screenshot for the day and print that, so I know exactly where I need to be. In my phone for Google Maps, I will have every single stop. And if it's like I'm at this title company for a signing, then I got to go and drop docs from a signing agency that I did. I've got to run to the FedEx box. I mark everything in my phone, because what it does is I can just keep continue, even though I know how to get to the FedEx box.
Okay, so hold on. So I think this is a crazy little hack. Let's talk through it. So you're using Google Maps in the morning, and you're putting every stop into Google Maps.
Yes, that okay. I know of, but my day gets added as I go along.
Okay, so you're pre-planning your day through Google Maps, so you know exactly how long it takes to get from one area to another.
Yes.
I think that's really cool. I've never done that. And so you're starting the day, you're putting all your stops into the day, which are your locations, because on Google Maps, you can add location.
Yeah.
And so then as you need to add location, Google Maps will reconfigure your day as far as travel times to location, and you're using Google Maps to make sure you can get from appointment to appointment on time. Is that right?
Yes. And then also it's a mental note, and then printing that notary gadget at a glance, I can quickly, this just happened to me yesterday. I had a lender call me and they needed emergency, signing. And I knew I had to go to 45 minutes to the other title company and drop off docs. But I said, let me make a phone call to the EO, see if I can drop off the docs after I do your signing, and I will call you right back. But because I knew what my timeline was, and I was finishing up a refi and I had to go to a seller signing, but I knew exactly those docs because I had already looked at them. That is so key. And that's part of the organization and the time management, is because when you've already pre-looked at the docs, I know what's in there. I know if there's a page where maybe there's an initial or something like that, like I've got the mental note of what to be on it, so I can still be in and out in a certain time frame. And you know what? I was able to call the EO. I was able to switch it and meet that lender's and Yeah, it was, so I would never have done that if I was floundering. I don't know, but because I knew my day, I knew my stops, like I was quickly able to navigate that and like, yes, let me make a phone call, see if I can do it. I'll call you right back.
So yeah, I mean, having your day pre-planned out and using the Google Maps hack is really cool. You're putting
Yeah.
all your signings into Google Maps. You can just look at Google Maps and Google Maps will tell you how many minutes it'll take to get to your next appointment.
Yep.
And
Yep.
so then if you need to add another location, then it'll tell you how far it'll take to get to the location, then to the signing itself.
Yes.
And I hope everyone heard that little hack by a six-figure signing agent. So input all your locations into Google Maps. Then Google Maps doesn't need to know what time they're at. They just need to know the location. So whenever you look at your phone, it will tell you how much minutes or hours it takes to get to the next location. Let me ask you this, because I think there's a myth out there that, oh, it's impossible to do 6, 7 signings a day. What would you say to that signing agent, or just the naysayer out there who says, oh, there's no way these signing agents are doing 6, 7, 8 appointments or 9 appointments in a day? What would you say to that person?
I've had people on the mentorship ask me that, and I'm always replying back. If it's I can't do it at the time that it was notified, I will reply back with the time that I can do it, because I'm betting that there's going to be a shortage of notaries and that maybe a notary can't do it. And so if you reply back, I've had this happen so many times. They replied back like, hey, I noticed that you couldn't do X time, but you could do this time. Are you still available at that time? I have gotten jobs because I have replied back what time I am available, and the time that I'm saying I'm available goes into my schedule where I can fill gaps. So I'm able to do a signing on the hour every hour. And I start early. I'm an early girl. I'm not a night person. I'm an early morning person. So I will start my signings at 6:30 in the morning, meaning that I'm up at, today it was up at 2 o'clock in the morning, or I'm up at 3 o'clock in the morning, getting organized, getting prepped and ready.
Well, so let's talk through it a little bit. So your goal when you're on these busy days to do every signing on the hour, right? And so again, I think people say, so your average signing time, you're a 6-figure signing agent, your average signing time with the borrower was roughly what?
For a refi or a buyer is about 45, 50 minutes. And then it gives me the 10-minute drive time, and a seller is 25 to 30 minutes tops.
And so when you're organizing your signings, you're trying to organize your signing in locations closest to you, so the drive time from signing to signing isn't as drastic.
Right.
Well, we had to do a little change location because the light was getting bad in the other room. So thank you for doing that for us. Let's talk through this real quick because, again, I believe people don't think you have the time to be able to do 6 or 7 signings in a day. You gave a great little hack earlier about how you can fit appointments in your day by offering different appointment times that fit your schedule. You find that EOs will usually accommodate that because there's a shortage of notaries. And so, but let's talk about the time frame, because there's going to be some people, I'm willing to bet, in this YouTube video that will say, like, there's no way she's doing 8 signings a day. So let's talk about the driving times, the signing times to get from one appointment to the next. How does that look for a 6-figure signing agent? Talk about the times, not like how you fit it into your schedule.
Well, again, because I know how much time it's going to take to get from one to the other. One thing I have noticed too is by just doing repetition, numbers of signings. I looked and studied my statistics and my notary gadget graph, and I noticed that my proficiency in doing signings started getting quicker the more that I did them. And so, it's just keeping on, keep doing them.
Well, you know what? Let me interrupt you, because I think you said something genius. You kind of overlaid, and I think I missed it in the beginning, but I hope everyone picked up on this. You're putting in your schedule, your locations into Google Maps as soon as they get it. So as soon as you get an appointment, how far the next appointment is.
Yes.
So you can schedule signings based on distance. So let me just make sure everyone's hearing this crystal clear. Yeah. If you have a signing at 8, your next location is at X amount of time. That's how you put in the next. So that's just, let me back up. Okay. My brain's moving too fast. I'm so excited. So you put a location as 8 a.m. Then you have another signing at this other location. You see that location is 10 minutes away. So therefore, you can tell the LO or EO, I can be there by 9:10 because Google Maps is telling you how far it is. Yeah. And if you get another appointment, you put that location into Google Maps, because Google Maps already knows where you're going to be before that appointment. You see that it's going to take 30 minutes to get to that next appointment. So therefore you can tell the EO, I can be at that appointment because I know the signing is going to take me 35, 40 minutes.
Yes.
Google Maps has told me it's going to take 30 minutes to get to that location. So therefore I know I can fit up my next appointment based on the math of 35 plus 30. So in an hour and a half. So you're allowing the Google Maps to give you the driving distance. You're adding the driving distance to the amount of time you're estimating the signing is going to take, and you're basing your appointments in. So that's how you're able to fit 6, 7, 8 signings, because you're using the math of driving distance Google's given you, and then giving availability to your client saying, look, I have a signing in this location. It's going to take me 45 minutes, but drive time to your locations can take me 30 minutes from that location. So I can be there at 1:15. Does that work?
Right.
That works.
And then also a lot of times they'll advertise TBD. So if it's to be determined, that's fantastic, because you know what? They're giving me free reign to schedule that, and I can fill in gaps where I want to fill in, so I can just be busy the entire day.
But what I want people to miss and not miss is you're filling in the gaps based upon location distance. And you know, because Google Maps has told you that this signing from this signing is going to take me 23 minutes.
Right.
Then you know when to schedule that appointment.
And another thing, Mark, is sometimes I have to drive back home to print docs. So I am doing all this without a printer in the back of my car. And the reason why I have not done that is because, again, we're in a rural area. We don't have Wi-Fi. A lot of times I'm driving from point A to B and I'm losing cell coverage. Right. So for me, I would not be able to have the Wi-Fi coverage to actually print docs.
So back to your hack, because I think this hack is genius. It was not lost on anybody. Then, so you have location A is here. Then you know location B is here, but you put in Google Maps your home as the in-between location. You know from the signing location A, it's going to take 20 minutes to get back to your house. Then from where your house is to the next location takes 23 minutes. So you know it's going to take 45 minutes or 50 minutes because you got to print the docs. So it's going to take you 50 minutes from here to the house to this location. So you can give an accurate time to be at the next signing because Google Maps has told you the distance and travel time estimated from all 3 points. That is so genius, next level. I hope people have really picked up on that. So you're able to do 6 or 7 appointments a day because you know exactly what time you'll be able to get to that appointment and stack the appointments accordingly to the distance and travel times, because Google Maps doing all the calculations for you. Okay, if there was a mic, I would drop it. So that is the best tip I might ever heard on any of these interviews, excuse me. And it's so good that I might have you do a Facebook Live with me in the mentorship group, because that was so good. In fact, wow, that was fire. You're able to stack appointments based on location because Google Maps is telling you how far the locations are, so you can set the next appointment based upon the time calculations through Google Maps. So you'll never be late, and then you know how many appointments you can stack in a day. And you're stacking people based on travel times all through Google Maps. I really hope that wasn't lost on anybody. If it was, comment below. If you're LSS student, we will do another one of these interviews inside the private Facebook group, because that might be the hack of all hacks. Okay, so that is the best advice I've ever seen, I think, on one of these episodes, is using Google Maps to help you plan out your day so you can point your appointments strategically so you can fit in 6 or 7, 8 appointments in a day. Out of curiosity, what's the max appointment you've done in a day?
9.
9. Yeah, it is doable, everybody. Again, I can't tell you how amazing this story is. Rural town, making no more than 130 to 115 appointment, 6 figures in 10 months. If you can do it, can anybody do this?
Yes, anybody can do it. No college degree, right here, 55.
I love it. I love it. Okay, let's get to the last questions again. Thank you so much I see the beautiful trees in this background. You were not lying when you said you're in a rural part of California.
And it snows here. I have snow to deal with too.
So, look, we're in the heart of winter right now, right? It's December. Like, you're still out there making the signings happen. And if it's up to you, you can do it, right?
Right.
So let's go into the last question here. Amazing interview. I always ask this. I want to speak to someone who's on the fence right now, right? People are on the fence for numerous reasons. And I know every single signing agent has their on the fence moment. I don't know if I should become a signing agent. I don't know if I should take LSS. What was that for you? Now looking back at your moment that you're like, wow, I shouldn't have been worried about that. But what was that moment of hesitation for you? And talk through it with people.
It was doubt. It was doubt and listening to those lies that I don't think I could do it. But if you don't ever just jump in and try, then you never will. Then you've let that doubt rule your life. You have to step in and try. You don't know what you can do until at least you try. And don't listen to the lies anymore. Just get out there, reinvent yourself, and you can do it.
I love it.
It's so amazing. Like, I don't know. You just can't doubt. You got to persevere. And it's not taking a no for an answer. I did get in some initial no's, and I just kept on. I'm like, no, I'm not going to take no for an answer. And this business said that I can get direct business. And so I'm just going to keep on. I was told by one title company that they service all their clients in-house. You know what? Last week I had 4 files from them in one day.
So much for doing signings in-house, Mrs. I got 4 signings. And let's talk about that for one moment, because you said so much amazing things there. But I think you hit on something that too many people hear we do signings in-house. That's just a blow off 9 out of 10 times. That is, I have not created a relationship. That is, I've not created credibility. That is, I just need to keep chipping away. And that is what a 6-figure signing agent does. They hear the word no, and all you hear is not right now.
Right.
And it's not, no, I'm never coming back. And I hope people are getting inspired, because she's telling you, title companies have told her, we only do in-house notaries. We don't hire outside notaries. And you did 4 signings in one day for them. So I think that's what people need to hear from a 6-figure signing agent is perseverance and no. But if it's okay, I'd like to get back to something you said in the very first sentence of this question. And it is, don't listen to the naysayers. Let's talk again to somebody, because I promise you there's someone watching right now that family, friends has said, you're not good enough. You can't do this. There's no way you're going to become anything. There's no way you're going to make money as a signing agent. You're wasting this money in this industry. This is a joke. You're a joke. Talk to that person, because it sounds like you've experienced that. You can't do it. And you're now a 6-figure signing agent. So I want you to inspire someone right now who their mom's, their dad, their best friend, their husband, their wife is saying, you're not good enough. You can't do it. Talk to that person right now.
I would say, again, don't listen to them. You've got to just step out and do it. And
what helped you? Let me ask you this question. What helped you to not listen to them? Because you listen to them at times.
For too long, because I am the type of person that I want to prove people wrong. If they're going to tell me that I can't do it, game on. I am going to tell you that I can, and watch me and get out of my way. It does take a little bit of drive. You have to get to that point. But again, so much power in the tongue. I'm going to come back to that, because that is what I tell myself, every single day. Because we still get nervous on signings, and I just got to keep telling myself that every single day, because when I'm speaking it verbally, my ears are also hearing it, and my mind, our subconscious mind never ever sleeps. So when we're hearing it, it's going into our ears, and our mind is comprehending it. And so I just need to keep speaking, that I can do this. I am doing it. And
you said something that I think that was really cool, is you turn the doubt into fuel. When someone tells you can't, you're like, game on. And it sounds like that's kind of how you turn all those comments of negativity into positivity, is by saying, look, if you're going to keep knocking me down, I'm going to prove you otherwise. And so maybe that helps somebody right now on how.
Mark, that's how I'm still here in life, really. I was telling you, with my parents and how I grew up, I suffered every kind of abuse that there was from my parents. Really, I could have just taken myself out so long ago. But, but I'm going to prove everybody wrong, that I am worth it.
You are. And I'm glad that you made the choice to keep on. I know your husband is, after 30 years of marriage. I know that I could not be more proud to be your mentor.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. I could not be more proud that you've chosen me. Like, you chose me. And I thank you for that, because like I said, I have thousands of students, Kim, and nobody has made six figures quicker than you.
I can't believe that. It's unbelievable.
It shows you
You're telling me.
you're welcome. I think that understanding the power of the tongue and that piece of advice, I think, is powerful. But I mean, I hope that you never doubt yourself again, because nobody that I know has built a bigger, quicker, and bigger than you.
Wow. Thank you. That's amazing.
Don't ever doubt yourself again.
Thank you. I won't. Thank you
You
for
are amazing. You are an amazing signing agent. Your perseverance, you've helped so many people today with your vulnerability, with your transparency, with your honesty. You know, you talked about some things that other people are uncomfortable talking about, but that's what helps everybody. So the point I'm trying to make is, not only don't doubt yourself, be proud that you're able to talk about it, because that's strength. A lot of people don't want to talk about some of these things, and the fact that you do just shows how strong you are, and it gives someone else a voice that they are not alone. They're not the only people that have been emotionally put down by friends and family. They're not the only people who have been told you can't do something. You're not the only people that have been told that you're not good enough. You've given those people a voice today.
Right. All that pain of the rejection and everything that we've experienced, turn it into gain and go out and build your business. Totally.
I don't know there's a better way to end this than that. So thank you. Congratulations. I will see you at conference.
Yes.
Walk across that pen with your chest high, because I will be announcing that you are our fastest student ever to the six-figure signing agent club. Congratulations, and let's go.
Thank you.
All right, I'm out of here. Have a blessed rest of your day, and thank you for sharing your story. Bye.